Hello, good to see you again. Thanks very much for joining me. Now, the last emotion which is left to discuss is ego. It's called Ahankar in our language. Now, ego is the one thing, again, bit like an anger, it's embedded in us by our maker to make us stand up for ourselves, to stand up for our human rights as well as for the human rights of the people who are weak and can't stand up for themselves. That's what Sikhism, that's what happens in Sikhism. Now it's very very dangerous emotion because it is very powerful and it is very good at convincing, misguiding us, abusing us is probably the right word, because it creates a desire in you to look down at fellow human being, convincing yourself, as you and I both know, human mind is very corruptible. We convince ourselves that we are superior to them. That's why we can do this. Now, if you look at my own country, India, the caste system in India has been going on for centuries. What is it? They are both all human beings, but they have created different sects. This is for this. This is for cleaning the houses. This is for fighting in there. These are the traders. Why? Simply because our ego says that I am superior to somebody else, so I must look down at them. Look on the other side, slavery. How come all the black people were treated like slaves? Simply because white people of that time had convinced themselves that they are superior to these people and they can use them, abuse them the way they want. So it's very important that we develop an ability to see the human beings as a human being and not find a reason or convince ourselves that, oh, I can do this because I'm this and he's not that, etc., etc. The politicians suffer from uncontrolled ego more than anybody else. While they're being elected, they will go around to people's houses and request them, please, please give us a vote. And once they come in power, you and I both know what happens. And so it's very important that we understand our ego and keep it on the floor. Now, these are the five emotions which we have gone through. It's important because if we understand them, what they will do is will turn us into a better quality human being. When you start, and you will develop an ability to converse with yourself that these things, you will need them, you want to use them, but they won't abuse you. They won't stop you from, they will stop you from getting depressed because you will say to yourself, yes, I don't have this, but do I really need it or can I do without it? I can do without it. It's not a problem. And it's the ability to converse with yourself and getting guidance from within you, call it gut instinct, call it intuition, your hunch, etc., will lift you up. You will be on top of your emotions, and that's one way to control your mental health. Mental health is in your hand. You are to control your lust, your anger, your greed, your attachment, and your ego. Opposite of ego is being humble. When you're humble, you're more likable. Your people appreciate you more. Well, again, remind you again that don't be a doormat, be humble. And, by controlling these five emotions, you take charge of your own destiny, your own yourself, and don't let these things bother you. And once the surroundings don't bother you, then you will be at a better place. I hope you enjoyed listening to me. You grasp what I've said, and if you practice it, you reflect on it, I'm sure you will benefit in a big way. Thank you very much.